You are listening to a recording from the Cooperating to Build a Better Nova Scotia conference in Halifax, a celebration marking the United Nations International Year of Cooperatives.
Sitting down here at the Gottingen Street office, the AHANS office, and I'm sitting with John Hartling, who we've worked together in the past in the housing and homelessness sector, and now he's kind of moved on to new projects around social enterprise, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the project you're volunteering with now.
Sure. Thanks, Charlene. I've been, as the Common Roots Urban Farm has been established in partnership with Partners for Care and Capital District Health. They've engaged as many community, organizations and community members who are interested in being involved as possible, and have provided a really great forum for trying new things and getting people out learning new skills. So the farm's is right in the middle of downtown Halifax, really right by the hospital, and has established quite a bit of infrastructure in their first year with really limited funding. Most of the work's been done by volunteers and by school groups and organizations that have made a commitment to come and help establish the farm in the city. One of the things that has developed because of that is some great ideas around starting a small social enterprise that would support young people who aren't working out in the private sector, like getting a job and not being able to keep it. So they might find themselves on income assistance, and there's a variety of resources out there, a variety of programs, employment programs for these youth. And we came up with an idea to as we had young people there in employment programs over the summer, learning some gardening skills, some carpentry skills. Even they had the opportunity to do some welding, and being able to support that and support young people who for whatever reason aren't employable and aren't able to maintain employment. We thought it would be a great opportunity to do an edible landscaping service and use the Common Roots Farm as a kind of the insulator the incubator, I guess, that would provide us a safe work environment that we can provide employment services and coaching, at the same time developing the infrastructure and following through some of the development plans of that property. So there's like walkways, there's brickwork and stonework that needs to be done, and there's all sorts of carpentry projects in addition to establishing garden beds and maintaining the gardens.
Yeah.
So there's lots and lots and lots of work to be done, and we thought, what an awesome opportunity to get young people employment support services and real work experience. So it's not going into a classroom, and there is a lot of value to that, to go and be part of an employment and life skills program. But what I see as the opportunity there is to have to add to some of the variety of resources out there for youth to have that on the job work experience. And everything is really at the conceptual phase now. We are meeting with community partners, nonprofit groups, and also small businesses to talk about the potential and what that would look like.
So the concept of social enterprise, like, some people might not be familiar with it. So what do you mean when you talk about getting a social enterprise started like this?
Well, it's quite a buzzword at the moment. The province is really determined to encourage nonprofits to explore social enterprise as a way of doing their job, fulfilling a social mandate, and also it in essence, is a business. It's an enterprise that can, generate revenue. The province has been doing lots of research over the last few years and trying to really encourage and set up the conditions that would make it possible for nonprofits to develop social enterprises. But I tell people it's really a business that would tackle social, environmental, and economic challenges or changes in the community. So the intention is, twofold. It's to run a successful small business, but also be carrying out a social mandate at the same time. There's lots of great examples in Halifax of bakeries, recycle depots, woodworking shops, and in a sense, those ones are providing employment coaching and employment services, but it doesn't need to be limited to that. It can be any kind of business really that can be a social enterprise, and also private companies may be doing very socially responsible things, protecting the environment and taking care and mind to what they're doing in their community. Hosting wage subsidies for employment programs and these sorts of things can even fall within that social enterprise idea. So,
do you think that part of the push too is about funding, allowing the nonprofits to have maybe more be more empowered to fund themselves rather than have to seek other funding sources?
Yeah, I see it as a big part of it is that. They want it to be, the province wants to set the conditions for nonprofits to be more self-sufficient. So, they've done things in the last year that has provided nonprofits, there's the business loans that nonprofits can apply to. It's a $2 million loan guarantee program that the credit union across Nova Scotia will look at small business plans and provide funding up to $150,000 worth as a business loan for social enterprises to be established by nonprofits. Whereas without that support from the province, that wouldn't really be possible. The banks would look at a nonprofit as a place without the equity and the security that they would look for from any other business that comes forward looking for capital. So it's solving that problem, and also they're doing they've supported training where any nonprofit organization that's interested in developing a social enterprise has the opportunity through an organization called the Common Good that would provide a structured technical assistance to develop a business plan. So nonprofits that, it may be a completely new skill set for nonprofits to embark on. And they have the challenges, and there's a lot of additional, challenges having a private sector issues married with public sector stuff. So
it kind of takes the non out of the nonprofit because now nonprofits are allowed to, because with this mechanism they are allowed to make money,
the money
generate income,
generate revenue. I think profit, there's a lot of assumptions made when people hear the word profit. Its intention is and this is one of the intentions of social enterprise, is that the revenues goes back into fulfilling the social mandate of the organization. So whatever that organization's established to do, social enterprise as an extension of its services, just gives it more opportunity to do what its intentions are and not be so reliant on government funding or foundations and the traditional fundraising models that are out there.
So how does the social enterprise model kind of line up with the private sector? Where, how does the private sector feel about, the idea of social enterprise?
Well,
Where does it fit?
It's a good question. I think that there's a great opportunity to work together. There's a lot of skills in the private sector and a lot of good people that I think can really support social enterprises in their community. At this point, where it's not a new thing. Like, it's been around for a long time, and right now it's kind of being really heavily promoted. I think that anyone who owns a small business or large that wants to get involved should contact someone with the Department of Economic Development and Tourism and learn more about how they can be involved, because the nonprofits, I think, need some help to kind of move forward with business ideas in the business world. And
because for the most part, nonprofits, they're service providers. They're not necessarily businesses. People.
And there's a lot of things that the nonprofit community, as they establish social enterprises, they'll learn, and sometimes, you learn through your mistakes. So having people who've, gone through those experiences and, can help save time and money to the nonprofit sector be great. And work in partnership. Like, there could be great opportunities. There will be great opportunities for the private sector as social enterprises become more of a foundation of the community and in supporting the nonprofits to fulfill important social mandates. Yeah.
Have you encountered any major roadblocks?
Not roadblocks. I think the major things that we've come across, and I've been working with different social enterprises for a number of years, really, in different capacities. But the one of the major things is a business owner may feel threatened and think that the government is really subsidizing competition. And that's really not the case. In my experience, it's very much the government's just trying to level the playing field. They know that to run a social enterprise, you don't have a one person making the decisions. You have boards of directors and committees and processes that, allow an organization to have the status of a nonprofit or a charitable organization. So you have quite a lot of administration and, I guess bureaucracy is a good word. And also, the cost of running an employment program, you can't, what's your productivity going to be like because of the training? We wouldn't just hire somebody that already has all the skills and would, walking off the street be hired. We're working with the people that have been fired and need some coaching and support. So we have to really work that in and provided, a lot of support to the clients that, for some of the businesses and, that has to be really, kind of, I think, well articulated and expressed. Every social enterprise is different, so it's very hard to generalize. I just think if a business person wants to learn more, nonprofit community is more than willing to work together and, really wants to. I think at the end of the day, everyone is living in, our community, and the more cohesive and kind of efficient we are at, doing what we want to do with our lives, the better it'll be. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So are there any kind of lessons learned that you'd like to share with anyone who might be thinking about, getting into the whole social enterprise gig?
Really talk to a lot of people. Talking and expressing an interest in this is, really important, not to just, let the opportunities pass you by, because right now is the time. Right now there's a lot of support for groups wanting to establish social enterprise, and getting a solid business plan together is a very important step. There is assistance at the moment for that. So the nonprofits that have existing social enterprises and have been doing very well are continuing to carry forward, and there's new opportunities right now. So, wherever you are, it doesn't matter if you're in Metro, in Halifax, or in rural Nova Scotia, there's opportunity. And there's a great amount of resources. One group called Enterprising Nonprofits, they have a great how-to manual. It's a very, it's like the toolkit for establishing a small business in the context of a nonprofit organization. So they've worked with the Common Good to do those technical assistance for nonprofit groups, and to talk to local business owners and people in the community. What's really, what kind of business service is needed in the community that you live in, and what could you see, how could your group work together to establish something that would be a worthwhile nonprofit or a social enterprise business that would be providing quality services, and also strengthening your ability to carry your programs out, to do new and innovative things. There's groups in Nova Scotia that since starting social enterprises have more of their revenue coming, like 51% plus of their annual revenue comes from their social enterprises, as opposed to government grants and funding. So they have a bit more independence in terms of leveraging their mandate and wanting to do new programs and how their direction of their organizations will go. There's some strength in being independent in our province. So.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to check out the Common Roots Urban Farm Project, you got any social media stuff on the go there?
Yeah, there's a Facebook page, and I would recommend checking out that if you just typed in Common Roots Urban Farm. Also, there's a website that you can get more information, but you can find out how to contact us. Come on down. Even though it's wintertime, there's still stuff going on. There's quite a large advisory
and you're looking for
committee.
Volunteers?
Always looking for volunteers, yeah. So, I'm just a volunteer down there like everybody else. There's one paid staff person at the farm, and as next season opens, they're always looking for people with great ideas and wanting to help out in whatever capacity. There's so many different things to do. Just give us a call or email, and like us on Facebook.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming out and chatting with us and letting all of our listeners know about one of the cool projects going on here in the city, and just the general talk on social enterprise.
Great. Well, thank you, Charlene. My pleasure.